Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. So I'm just simply adding your alpha layer. And what happened to your entire class? Everybody is vanished.
Mm, Let me message them. Wait.
So for this base, like as our reference, the base is a bit transparent, round in shape. I'm just doing that only. So let's take a alpha and add a paint layer, brush, add a paint. So the parent is joining. So they're also joining. Nice.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So, like, it's very good morning. So I'm just adding this alpha just to make it a little bit similar like my our reference. I believe you know how to use alpha. I just switched on the alpha, added the alpha channel here, opacity, and changed the material to shaded to alpha blending. Now I'm adding layers and just painting it manually. But because it's square shape looks a bit odd, so I'm just giving it a bit interesting shape. And then we'll import this to Unreal. Anyway, just made it a bit uneven. If required, can delete slightly more. You can create all these patterns. So basic color now, like again, like before, like you can export this into Unreal directly, and then we check it because based on our Unreal, we have might have to update some colors because Unreal setting is different and Substance setting sRGB is different, and this, Substance already have an environment loaded, and Unreal we will create an environment, so that setting will be different. So it might look different, but there is a way we can fix it and we can make it look like this, exactly like this. So for this, what I'll do, export texture. The export texture right now, default is setting. So what we'll have to do is, first I'll select the fold path, texture, and select this folder. This is like first setting. Second setting is output template, like in which format you want it. So I wanted, you can see there's like tons of different short this thing templates are there. CryEngine, Dota, Keyshot, 9 Plus, Arnold, Udemy, and all these options are there. If you scroll it down, then you can see there is the Unreal Engine 4 pack. Unreal Engine 4 to SSS pack. SSS is basically for organic. If you're creating any organic character and using triple S and all, for that it works. And for our environment and all, we're not using any triple S, so we'll be using Unreal Engine 4 pack. Then file type, make sure select Targa. Gaming, they use Targa always. Size, based on my whatever size, like 4K, it was 4K. If I want to export it to 8K, I can do that as well to get better results. So, but 8K is way too heavy, and it might crash your system as well. So 4K is good enough. 4K is good enough. It should give you decent amount of detail and good quality output. And dilation is default. Dilation infinite. That's good. And nothing we have to do here. If you want, you can save this setting and load it all the time, or then you can just simply click export. It will export all the maps. So I'll just explain the map to you, because if I open the map, you will notice these maps look a bit different. Only 4 maps. See, I have this opacity embedded in my color map, and this map is not showing anything. Yeah, now you can see this is a colorful map. Some amount of pinkish, bluish tint, green tint, and red tint. All these things I open and show you in Photoshop. So how to use this map and what is the purpose of this map? I'll explain those things. And I'll export this mesh as well. Apply triangulation, that's fine. Like engine, it will automatically triangulate. So if you apply triangulation, export, environment, and final low poly, so that my model and my texture, my UV, everything should be perfectly aligned. Now I don't need this anymore. Save and close. Okay, let's go on Photoshop and open all these maps one by one. We open all these maps. I'll explain the basics. Normal is normal map. You have normal information, like whatever you have created from high poly, bake everything, and plus whatever you have generated in Substance, if you combine everything. So this is a normal map. There's nothing like fishy or nothing fancy about this thing. This is a simple, straightforward, normal map. So then we come to our diffuse map. You can see a diffuse map, simple diffuse map. But if you go to channel and go to alpha, you can see there's the alpha. There's the alpha applied to it, and you can just simply modify this thing. If you want to modify, you can modify this thing or keep it like this. It will give you nice result. And corners, I can see slightly white marks. So make sure if you have this kind of white marks on the edges, make it 100% solid black. Oh, color dots, my bad. It should be solid 100% black. Otherwise, it will give you some like unevenness, or maybe some unwanted patches here and there. Okay. Save it. So diffuse, automatically your alpha and alpha channel off your diffuse. This is how game works. Or whenever you create alpha, it should be part of your alpha channel of diffuse. Not normal map, not your rough test map, not other thing, only and only diffuse, or separate map altogether. So then save it and close it. It's all clean. Now you have you can see one map with this very like strange looking map with all these colors. This particular map, this is called as ambient occlusion roughness metallic map, ORM map. ORM, O stands for occlusion, R stands for roughness, M stands for metallic, and they are respectively like RGB. R stands for occlusion, G stands for roughness, B stands for metallic. So you can see these are like basically three different maps. Like whenever you have like engine, like the basic concept of engine, you compress everything, but you don't lose, don't like you try to keep all the details as much as possible. The gaming is like works like that, right? So what we do, whenever we have black and white map, we try to combine those black and white map and create one map. Because more maps, suppose you have a roughness map separately, metallic map separately, and occlusion map separately. So every map is basically RGB. So every map have have three channels. So 3 into 3 is basically 9 maps, right? So it's a black and white map, and each and every channel is completely equipped with like can store entire range of 0 to 255 grayscale value. So you can just simply keep one grayscale map in one channel and combine. You can have three maps in one map, right? If you go to channel, there's a combination of RGB is this green, red, blue, pink is this color. If you just click on red, you can see this is your ambient occlusion. Then green is your uh, roughness. Green is your roughness, and blue is your metal. So you have all these three maps, and this output is basically a combination of these three maps. So you have to use all the channels RGB for roughness, ambient occlusion, or and metal map. So this one map is basically like combination of three maps. So by this you can save around six separate maps. So that's why we use this ORM map, and it basically reduces your memory consumption. Plus, it reduces your RAM consumption, VRAM, everything. So it's highly optimized. We can use this. So I'll show you how to use this thing in engine now. Close this. Sequence you can remember: occlusion, roughness, metal, or whenever you export those maps, it will automatically name them as occlusion, roughness, metal. You can read the name and understand which channel is what very easily. RGB. So let's open our engine. Might take a little bit time as like recently just like changed something in the system and everything crashed. It might like, take a little time. And pay very good attention because engine is not very difficult. Only thing is bit technical. If you don't pay attention properly, you might and you might not understand it properly. It's like a math formula. Like 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4. Same formula goes for engine because it's all coding. But in Unreal Engine, this is called visual scripting because you can see everything and visually you can connect and disconnect and create things very easily. That's why it's called visual scripting, and we can see like physically we can literally see the function and create it. So that's why it becomes very easy. That's why it's very artist friendly because artists they are like there are lots of artists they don't know technical things or they don't understand maths or all those things, all those calculations. So no need to understand, just need to understand the function. Calculation soon. by this time, I'll just log into Moodle and update that index. Like make sure like pay very close attention and understand the process, because Unreal is something an environment too totally completely depends upon your Unreal engine, and there are a lot of things you can do in engine, amazing stuff. It's just like you need to understand those things and create it, and it needs a little bit of practice. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes very easy and simple. And update plus I'll update the folder. With the render also I need, and ensure with the folder for submission. Add activity, assignment, add. So till 5, I'm giving time. And save and explore. So by default, engine opens like this. Then go to your content. Previously, we have created this folder. We have just had this environment, and texture is empty because there's no texture. Mesh, we imported our mesh already. There's a material, so I can just simply delete this material, or I can simply drag and move to my material and move it. No copy. And name it F2. Name it this is the material is stand for mat, MAT underscore, like material, or just M underscore, M for material. Boom. Enter. That's it. So it will automatically update to your mesh whatever you have applied. You can double click and open. You can see that M underscore tomb is applied. So you cannot name anything outside Unreal, cannot change anything outside Unreal. Everything to do it within Unreal. That is something, and then open your environment. See, this was my environment, right? Everything is imported already. Now I'll go back to my content. Now I'll go to texture. So last time I just right click and import, right click and imported all my maps and all. I can use this for import my texture as well, or I can simply select all 3 maps, drag and drop it. I can do that as well. Drag, drop, or import. Right click, import, anything. It's importing. And 4K is a decent size map. That's why it's taking little time. So everything is imported. And whenever you see this star, that means that particular file is not saved in Unreal. If you close Unreal without saving it, it will go. So make sure whenever you have something like this, click on click on save all, or select those things and Control S, any one of them. If you click on save all, it will save everything everywhere which is not saved. And if you select things and Control S, it will save only and only selected things. Now, all my maps are imported. So diffuse is fine. Normal, what I have to do, double click and open and check. It looks kind of fine, and make sure that all this thing no need to change. Everything is fine. Only thing we have to change is double click this ORM map, and by default compression setting is default. change it to masked, no sRGB. This is a very crucial thing. You have to do it, otherwise it won't look like the output you had in substance. It will look entirely different. Then save it one more time. Control F. Now you saved it. So all textures are saved. Now go to material. You have this M2 material. That's your actual material where you have to create the material shader. And material and shader are two different things. Materials are basically derived from your texture. Like whatever output is depending upon your texture. And shader is basically, there's a complex network of calculation. Based on that, we generate something, some physically based shader and all those things, right? So those two things are different, but they are interdependent. Like you can have a shader property with some specific light or some water or wood or anything, and then you can connect with textures as well. So by default, whenever you import anything, it will open. This is your main material function. This is your main material. And under this you can see, and this is like by default, whenever you import anything, it will create a map automatically. This is not a map basically. It's just a parameter. It's a 3-vector parameter. If you double click this, it opens this color picker. You can pick any color and it will change into that color. So suppose you have an element or somewhere you have a solid color, you can create that color within Unreal without importing a texture, because texture will always increase your drop your FPS, increase your RAM usage, increase your CPU usage, and plus increase your GPU usage, right? So you can just simply create this color here directly. But we have texture, so we don't need this. Delete it. So by default, you have this option, or suppose you don't have this material. Suppose you don't have this material. So you can right click. You can see you have an option for right click material. So it will create a new material, and if you double click, it's an empty material without that node, right? It's clear, I hope. Then open it, double click, and then delete this. So now this material is very straightforward. Unreal is everything is almost very straightforward and clear. Like there's no confusion. Base color, your base color. Metallic, specular, and we are not using specular. We're going to use roughness. Specular is an old technology, but there will be cases we will be using a specular to like suppose you have a broad specular but you have a tiny roughness, so like double specular kind of effect. That time we can use specular. Then you have an emissive color, emissive is emissive light. Then you have normal, world position, we are not doing it right now. Then you have ambient occlusion and pixel depth offset also, we're not touching it right now, because these things are a bit complex. This and this things are a bit complex. We're not touching it right now. And this is my base material. Now, my base material, now I want all those textures. So for texture, I have to go back to my texture and I have to select this. Like first I have to import my textures into my texture folder, then select all of them, drag, left mouse button, drag and drop it in the material. You cannot just simply drag drop into your material directly. You have to import your texture first and then drop it into your material. Like first import it here, then drop it in here. So diffuse color, let's keep it simple, and then we have normal. And by default, it automatically snaps. Now we have all these things. So very simple thing. Connect RGB to base color, because we want this entire output to base color. RGB value, you can see we have RGBA separate also, plus RGBA value also. We have this option as well. Like suppose you have a PNG, that time we can use RGB. Then normal to normal, and this map here we had R, this time no RGB. R was ambient occlusion, G was roughness, B was metallic. We're using only each channel, so each channel have like separate map. So we're calling them from RGB. You can see here output, right? You can see all normal is visible, everything is visible. If you want to change the shape of the object, instead of a sphere, you can have a kettle, can have a plane or a box or a cylinder. It will take the time and show you the same result. So now save it. Make sure you have to save or apply any one of them. Otherwise, it's not at all, not yet part of your material. The moment you save it, you can see our preview will change to whatever its preview is. Now select this one and no select. You can go here and you can see your texture is already applied to your model because we have applied that particular material directly to your mesh. So it's already applied here. You can see everything, but you can see perspective. A camera is not very nice. So click on this corner point where you have all these settings, like show SPS if you want to see SPS and all, and focal this field of view 40-45 is good enough. See, I'm getting more than 120, like 180, 1920 FPS, which is like quite good, like very good. If you want, or you can just simply switch it off, that's totally fine. So you can see now it looks much better. And if the metal looks like metal, this surface looks like this rough surface, and all those things, just default setting light we have placed here. So everything you see, this looks quite nice. We have nice environment here and everything. But suppose you want to modify anything. Okay, that's something I'll show you in some other elements. Suppose you have created something and I feel this metal is way too shiny. So let's create this thing from this environment from scratch, because this is we have used a base like default thing. Let's create this thing with from scratch default, or it may be empty, any one of them. Let's take an empty layer. It's an empty layer. There's nothing. There's no light, no material, no shading. Nothing is there. So first thing first, what I have to do is I have to import my mesh. Drag, drop, lock it, and increase the size to 100. You see, there's no lighting, no shading, nothing, so it doesn't look nice. Location 000. That's the best thing. Then now there's no lighting. So what I have to do, you can see there's a tab called lighting, cinematic, so many options. Visual effects. You can see sky atmosphere is there. I can simply drag drop this thing, or I can use atmospheric fog, and there will be an exponential height fog. So instantly get this environment, but still there is no light. So I'll use a direction light. Direction light is basically the sunlight. In any given point of time in one scene, use only and only one direction light, not more than one. But that's technically incorrect, completely incorrect. So you can see nice shadow is casting. and you can like move it to center 0 0 0 E. You can rotate the angle, increase the height, increase the height. You can do all those things. Now you have a nice light. You have this background, or now suppose if you don't want this fog and all, you can delete it very clearly, easily. You can delete it, but keep it. It looks nice, gives you nice sky and all those things. Okay. You have nice system. You see, you have the sun here. Nice evening scene. If you press G, it will remove all the grid point and everything is active pivot point and everything. Press G again, you get back everything. So it's the evening scene. But if you zoom in and go here, you can see a preview mode here. Plus, if you go inside in a dark area, and you can see these bright areas gradually become more brighter. If you zoom out, it becomes darker. Basically, game engine have this automated setting where like our eyes, if you go outside suddenly from a dark room, everything becomes bright, and if your eyes can try to adjust, and after some time you can see everything. The exact same effect, it's automated in Unreal Engine. You don't have to do anything, it is automated. But to render out something for portfolio or for something, you have to like control that exposure. So for that, what I'll do, I'll search for, you can go to cinematics or visual effects. There's an option called post process volume. Drag, drop it anywhere in your scene. Then you can see, if you select, whenever you select any of this option, like light, I can increase light intensity, decrease the light intensity. All those settings are here. By default, it's 10. 10 is good enough. It's close to height pocket and need. Right. So you can keep it, remove it. And one more thing I forgot to add is skylight. Skylight, this one. The moment you place it, you can see in between scene center part will become bit lighter. See, now you can see in all those shadows. Previously, all the shadow area was full dark. Skylight is basically acts as an indirect bounce light. Like whenever you have sun and basically enters from a window or something, and then it bounces back multiple times and illuminates the entire room, right? Exact same thing. So skylight acts as a bounce light. So in your scene, you should have a direction light, main source of light. It can be direction, can be spot or anything. Then add one skylight to bounce your light, and then your post process. These two things you should have in your scene. Now you can see if I zoom out, it becomes dark. If I go close, it becomes really bright. So I want to control this and fix everything. So how to do this? Go to post process. Then you can see you have so many settings. So first thing first, what you have to do is scroll down. Then you have option, this option, post process volume setting. The last option is infinite extent, like infinitely. This will affect this. Nothing changes here, but this basically now it's affecting the entire scene, entire world, not just the bounding box. Like if you check this box, this bounding box, it's not just affecting this region only. It's affecting the entire world. Or if you don't want to use this, you have to like scale this thing, go to this center R and scale it like this and fill it. So it will affect only and only this bounding box area. Like sometimes we will use some kind of effect or something only for a specific region. That time we can use it and do it. So this will affect only this area. Either you can do it or you can just extend infinite, any one of them. Now, if you zoom in, it gets brighter automatically. So I don't want that. I want to control my exposure. It should be constant. So if you see under exposure, first option lens, switch on minimum and maximum, and both change to 1. Now this is your actual lighting without any any preset or anything affecting your scene. Now if we zoom in, zoom out, everything will remain same. This one. Then there are a lot of effects here. You can see you have this image effect. Makes it seem slightly cornered, slightly darker, but not showing anything. We have to bake it anyway. Then if you want, you can switch on lens flare, so it's not there, it's not visible. Not visible. Then we have depth of field. Okay. Oh, for that I have to go to cinematic view. Perspective, there is a default view. What is cinematic view? And then I can change things. Sorry, why is it blurring anything? Yeah, it's blurring. Yeah, see? So this is blur, and you can modify things like this. So as of now, keep it like this, flat. So basic thing is done, but your lighting is still not finished, still not finalized, because you can see there's a preview thing is written. Because after creating light, you have to bake your light. Then it will generate all the contact ambient and everything, and generate everything. That is what we'll do. And one more thing to see, there's no alpha is visible. So for that, I have to go back to our material and select the main material. Now you have the blending mode. Right now it's opaque. I can click on mask. The moment I click on mask, you can see this opacity mask gets activated. If it was opaque, it's deactivated. Mask A to opacity mask. And save it. Okay, less than a minute. You have to apply this to mask, and it will start showing you that transparency. So tomorrow I'll explain how to use this mask and all those how to bake light and other stuff, and how to control your material within Unreal, how to add parameters and everything. So pay really good attention and practice this, because this is something basic. This is like base. If you don't understand, learn it properly.